Ah, did you hear about yet another gender reveal going bad, catching a house on fire?
What worse can they possibly do? Holocaust 6 million Jews?
I don't know, it's just all these gender reveals are getting ridiculous. Like, you remember back to the first gender reveal I did for you? There you go. So did I tell you what we're having? It's a boy.
Cool.
Yeah. And nothing got set on fire.
Yeah. Nothing.
Child locks.
They are Joshua,
and they are David, and they are brothers, not lovers. So I'm Davey, and I'm awesome. And this is Josh, the last film bestie, and he's about to say something stupid right after I introduce him.
Rachel.
And this is Overrated Underrated, where we talk about movies that we think are overrated or underrated, and sometimes we disagree, and we argue about that.
I'm the Film Bestie.
For the first overrated movie, one that I'm sure I'm going to get flack for because so many people love it, but I watched it for the first time about 10 years ago because everybody was telling me what a classic, wonderful movie it was, and you just got to see it. And then I saw it was like, why was this piece of crap considered a classic? Just because it had two iconic actors. And that overrated piece of crap is called Rain Man.
The one with the guy who goes, I'm not an animal?
No?
Is it the new Marvel one with a superhero who's made of rain?
No, it was considered a classic 10 years ago when I saw it.
You're an idiot.
It's,
You were alive 10 years ago?
to be fair, there's like 10 years of his life he doesn't remember because of all the drugs.
That was a lot of ibuprofen.
No, I'm talking about Rain Man, the movie with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman, where Tom Cruise finds out he has an older brother in a mental house of some sort.
Oh,
He's
Top
autistic.
Gun.
No. Although overrated. But no, not Top Gun. I don't know if it came out before or after Top Gun, but
You better not be knocking Legend, dude.
no, Legend was a great movie. Underrated movie.
Very underrated.
You know, in fact, most people don't understand that those new ads going around where the devil is dating 2020, the devil they're basing that off of is from Legend.
You're talking about Hook.
No!
I've never even heard of this. What's
Rain
it called?
Man.
Oh. I've never even heard of this movie. I thought we were supposed to review movies that can make us argue.
Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman, where Dustin Hoffman plays an older autistic man. They make fun of it all the time in TV shows and movies where you see the guys in the white suits going down to a casino and the card counter is
Are
there.
you sure you're not confusing Nicole Kidman in this one? I'm pretty sure she's done that role.
Okay, well, I guess I'm getting no argument, but overrated. Rain Man.
My turn. What are we doing again?
Overrated, underrated.
You know what movie I like?
What?
Just saw it yesterday. Should have seen it sooner. Teeth.
You just saw that yesterday for the first time?
Yeah, that movie was so awesome. It bit them off.
So you're saying it was what? Underrated? Or what?
Way underrated. That movie should have gotten an Oscar.
I don't know about that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen Teeth. I enjoyed Teeth.
I bet you did.
I've seen the movie Teeth. I enjoyed the movie Teeth. It was,
It was totally underrated.
I guess, I mean, not really very well known, I mean, among certain circles.
It deserves a cult following.
I guess.
It will totally get a cult following.
I'm pretty sure it will, but I don't know. It was good, but it was like so bad it was good.
Davey,
What?
they cut their things bitten off by her. Dang, I hate your ratings. Her donut hole bit off their pickles.
Okay, just because I'm trying to keep this family friendly doesn't mean you can't use the clinical words. Yes, she had teeth in her vagina.
Oh, she'd be so raw.
That would bite off their...
Captain Winky!
If they put it in her. God. But I don't know if I would say it's underrated. It's just one of those really, really bad movies that's so bad it's entertaining movies.
I don't know.
Like the
I
Human
think it was
Centipede.
good. Good enough to be a remake of a classic early 2000s movie from Britain.
Britain?
Yeah. Angst. Also known as Penetration Angst. Starring Fiona Horsey.
Okay.
Shh. I'm thinking about Fiona.
So, Angst was about a vagina with teeth biting off.
Winky. More like it just swallowed Guy's whole. One
Ah.
scene she gets married and swallows her father-in-law.
Ah. So it doesn't have teeth. Like the British.
We're gonna get so many strongly worded, passive-aggressive, kind letters.
Right?
And they will all feature pictures of Big Ben and Parliament.
Okay, so for the next, I'm going to do an underrated.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Okay, I was finished.
A movie I thought was very underrated. Came out in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. Mystery Men.
Oh yeah, the one with Janine Garofalo.
Yes, she played the bowler.
Baby bowler.
Yes, she had a skull in her bowling ball.
It was her dad's.
But don't worry, she didn't put it in there. The guy at the pro shop did. This movie had an all-star cast, though. Besides Janine Garofalo, it had Paul Rubens, or Pee Wee Herman, playing the Steen. Had William H. Macy, Ben Stiller, Jeffrey Rush.
The all-powerful Jeffrey Rush, thank you.
He played Casanova Frankenstein.
It had Greg Kinnear.
Had Kel Mitchell, the other half of Keenan and Kel, the one that didn't get on SNL.
Eddie Izzard.
Wes Studi played the Sphinx.
And he's still alive.
Hank Azaria.
He's still alive, too.
And he will always be Apu.
The only Apu. Bow to the pressure all you want, Simpsons. But this was your death blow.
Had Dane Cook in it too.
Yes, it had Dane Cook. He played the Waffler. Making history. Bad guys are crispy. And I don't care what anybody says. I love Dane Cook.
Yeah, but, according to the less than 1% of the people in this country that are warriors of social justice, we are supposed to condemn Mr. Cook and Mr. Rush, and I'm pretty sure Miss Garofalo, because she probably said something to make him nervous.
Oh, okay. I love Dane Cook and Jeffrey Rush.
They're great.
But yes, Mystery Men.
Not to be confused with Mystery Team.
We'll get to that one later.
Oh, yeah.
But Mystery Men. Great movie. You know what's really great about that? So the comic books that they were based off of, the Flaming Carrot comics, the only reason that they picked Casanova Frankenstein was because one of the producers looked around at the list of bad guy names and liked that name so much he was like, you know what, let's go with that one. Casanova Frankenstein.
So what's the next movie we're going to talk about?
Well, the next movie, I'm also saying, is very underrated. Very underrated movie. Didn't do very well. It's now got a bit of a cult following, but yeah. A biopic on one of my favorite comedians to ever live, the great Andy Kaufman. Man on the Moon. Such an underrated movie. Jim Carrey did a great portrayal of Andy Kaufman.
Overrated.
Excuse me.
This movie was given way too much push and hype for the guy who could not stop standing there with his eyes wide open, more wide open than the actual Andy Kaufman, and couldn't stop being a little pain in the butt on the set. I'm possessed by the spirit of Andy Kaufman. Were you possessed by the spirit of the Riddler too? It was an okay movie. And I don't know, Courtney Love was kind of hot in it, but it was very overrated.
Josh, you ignorant slut. How can you say that this movie was overrated? First of all, it didn't do that well, which is really messed up because it was probably one of the best biopics I'd ever seen.
Overrated.
No, sir, this was underrated. Man on the Moon was a great movie about a great comedian who sadly is being forgotten by history, despite the fact that he was just a great, funny man who marched to the beat of his own drum, did what he found funny, whether people liked it or not. And you know what? Okay, I'll admit, Jim Carrey was very pretentious, especially after I read a book about his experience making Man on the Moon, and then later the documentary on Netflix came out, and I'll admit, he took it way too far. But
It's always pretentious.
okay, fair enough, but it was a biopic about Andy Kaufman. And even you liked Andy Kaufman.
Oh, yeah.
Andy Kaufman was great. I wish Andy Kaufman would have followed his true calling and stayed a wrestling manager in Memphis. The only biopic I think I liked more than Man on the Moon was Selena. Ay, Dios mío.
Davey, you misguided whore.
What?
No, I'm just following up with what you said. You called me a slut. I'm calling you a whore.
Well, there you go. In the comment section, let us know. Do you agree with him that it's overrated? Or do you agree with me that it's underrated?
We all know you agree with me. I got the fan letter.
For our last overrated, underrated, a movie that we've liked since we were kids. It's a little violent, and of course, has something that every little kid loves, cowboys.
Cowboys?
Hey, look, girls, there he is.
Ah! Ah!
Are you back from your little trip? I'm talking about Young Guns 2. Very underrated sequel to Young Guns.
Young Guns was pretty underrated. It's underrated itself.
I was going to say, don't you dare say overrated. I will stab you for that one.
I would never.
You should stab him anyways.
But yes, Young Guns 2 was bashed very harsh. People said it wasn't very good, so it didn't do very well as a sequel. But Young Guns 2 was a great follow-up to Young Guns.
Yeah, the main reason people were bashing it is because of the historical inaccuracies. But let's face it, we had a movie where Billy the Kid fought Dracula. Okay? You really expect movies to be historically accurate, especially when they're making a more rock and roll version of a Western?
But no, the main thing I heard people bashing it for was because they didn't like the ending. The ending was so sad and upsetting. Do you not know your history? According to the history books, Billy dies.
It was the Pinkertons. They promised him that he could be with his family. They only left him there for a week. Then they came to the ranch. They murdered Uncle. They fought him, but he fought brave. Then with his dead-eye vision, he took as many as he could. But his son Jack would get revenge. Wait.
The hell are you remembering?
That's the end of Red Dead Redemption. My bad. This one was pretty cool too.
And then his historical inaccuracies they're talking about is, in this movie they do kind of play up the argument that Rushy Bill Roberts was actually Billy the Kid. He escaped, lived out his life, and then at the end of his life told his story, which to the day is still shrouded in controversy. Some people believe him, a lot of people don't. Especially people in New Mexico, they don't want to believe it because, let's face it, New Mexico gets a lot of tourism thanks to Billy the Kid. But
I was actually talking about minor things like Charlie from the first one. In real life, he actually died there where Doc gets killed. Oh, spoiler alert! Nerds.
it's a movie. People hate to break it to you, there is no biopics that are 100% historically accurate. None. So there you have it. Rain Man, overrated. Teeth,
Underrated.
I could go either way on that one. Mystery Men, underrated.
Eh.
Man on the Moon, underrated.
Overrated.
Underrated.
Over.
Under.
Over. I will. Give
Okay,
you-
children.
Yes, Mom.
Sorry, honey. And then Young Guns 2 was underrated.
Yeah. You know your wife sounds like our mom sometimes? That's really creepy, dude.
Do you know your wife feels like your mom sometimes?
So yeah, make sure to hit like and subscribe. The little bell if it's so you'll get notifications when we post new videos, and leave a comment. When you leave, do bundle up. It's awfully cold outside.